Now at 6, grocery woes continue in Cherokee County, Kansas. We look at how the community struggles to put food on the table. Plus, good luck finding a penny in the future as the government begins phasing out the coin. And there were plenty of treats in Webb City today. We'll take you to the city's annual downtown Halloween event.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Cherokee County residents may be finding it tougher than ever to find essential groceries. This is KOAM News. I'm Tanya Bach. KOAM's Kenny Foreman explains why this may be.
It's known as a food desert. Cherokee County has a population of about 19,000, yet there are only 2 grocery stores operating in the county, a Harps in Baxter Springs and an Apple Market in Columbus. According to Cherokee County Health Department Administrator Peyton Kessler, this poses a problem for people who rely on WIC benefits since they cannot use them outside state lines.
They have to try to find a grocery store within Kansas that helps them to be able to utilize those benefits. For some, that can be a significant strain because they may have to drive in excess of 30 to 40 miles to be able to get to one of those grocery stores that have those benefits.
A main concern of the health department is the idea that without reliable access to groceries, people could begin to turn to more unhealthy options for their nutrition.
Instead of having the needed resources to cook healthy meals at home, they'll settle for a fast, quick food choice on the road instead of a good sit-down at the table meal in their home.
While the lack of convenient options might seem frustrating, some are turning to other healthy options.
We love to utilize the farmers market. There's orchards not too far down the road. There seems to be a lot of agriculture in the area that you can choose from as well.
While Kessler would like to see another supermarket built, she says that the department is still finding other ways to keep the community healthy.
Blood pressure cuffs that we have given out and supported for that to help individuals identify that, and we've also built city parks to try to help increase the physical activity within the residents.
In Cherokee County, Kenny Foreman, KOAM News.
15.7% of the county population experiences food insecurity. That's according to Hunger Free Kansas. Well, some optimism for SNAP recipients. Today, 2 federal judges ruled the president's administration must continue to fund SNAP, the nation's biggest food aid program, using contingency funds during the government shutdown. Both judges did give the administration leeway on whether to fund the program partially or in full for November. The rulings came a day before the U.S. Department of Agriculture planned to freeze payments to SNAP due to funding issues tied to the shutdown. Well, after announcing the possibility of closing its doors by the end of the year, the SEK Humane Society shared some good news of its own. Due to a funding shortfall, the shelter anticipated shutting down by the end of the year. And today, the shelter announced it can continue to operate through March of 2026. The shelter says the extended operational date is a result of community generosity. Despite the revised timeline, the SEK Humane Society says it is pursuing what it calls long-term stabilization efforts. Shelter also says despite good news, it remains at capacity and intakes remain closed. Well, the U.S. Mint has stopped producing pennies after 232 years. The final order for penny blanks was placed in May. The decision comes as production costs 3.4 cents per penny, more than 3 times the coin's value. Arkansas businesses are already posting signs about the shortage and implementing rounding policies for transactions.
The president early in his second term decided that it cost about 3.4 cents, I think, to make a penny today, which is roughly 3.5 times worth more than the penny is worth itself. And so he decided that as a cost-cutting measure that the mint should eliminate the penny.
Retailers are rounding transactions to the nearest nickel. Amounts ending in 1 or 2 cents round down, while 3 and 4 cents round up. Existing pennies remain legal tender. Experts suggest consumers check their cars and homes for loose change to keep pennies in circulation while supplies last. Well, meteorologist Lindsay Gaffney joins us now with a first look at weather.
Well, temperatures for the rest of the evening are going to be dropping down through the 50s once the sun sets. Now, as we head into the weekend, we do have another threat on the horizon. A freeze watch has been issued for Missouri, Arkansas, Oklahoma, and a few counties in Kansas along the Missouri border. This is for strictly Saturday night into Sunday morning, where temperatures are expected to drop below freezing. Now, for the rest of the evening, we've got cloudy skies. You can see up near Kansas City some showers just behind our banner, but not much is going to affect us until early Saturday morning. So until then, it's just going to be pretty cloudy out there. We're already getting down into the upper 50s. Now, rain chances mostly, again, start after midnight tonight. We have a bit of a spike there between 5 a.m. to 8 a.m. before rain clears out again. But I'm going to have a full look at your forecast coming up.
All right, thanks, Lindsay. Families packed downtown Webb City this afternoon for the city's annual Trick or Treat event. Businesses along Main Street and in nearby parking lots handed out candy, popcorn, and free ice cream. Local police, firefighters, and city staff joined the Halloween fun that's become a community favorite.
I think it's just a really good representation of what Webb City is all about and the kind of community that we are. And we love seeing all the different costumes, and the kids are all smiling, and, you know, love seeing the parents, you know, down here with their kids. I mean, they're bringing the dogs, the babies, everything.
The chamber says they hope the tradition continues for generations, with today's trick-or-treaters one day bringing their own kids back to Main Street. Well, residents at Pittsburgh Care and Rehabilitation had some visitors this evening, some sweet and some a bit spooky. The center opened its doors for trick-or-treaters and allowed some residents to hand out candy and see some unique costumes. Well, if you're looking for more Halloween events tonight but don't know where to turn, we've got you covered. Just scan this handy QR code and head straight to the events page of our website, KOAMnewsnow.com. You'll find information on all kinds of events, including trunk or treats, fall festivals, and some scary and not so scary haunted houses. That's the events page at KOAMnewsnow.com. City of Joplin looks to crack down on an influx of transient traffic. That story's coming up. And also, the Sooner State looks to crack down on DUI offenses with tougher sentencing starting tomorrow. Authorities identify the victim found in the remains of Wednesday's house fire in Newton County. When authorities arrived at the house on Highway HH west of Fairview, it was already engulfed in flames. Responders battled the fire through most of the afternoon and into the evening before finding the body of 49-year-old Michelle Gaither inside. Results of today's autopsy reveal no criminal findings in connection to her death. Authorities say smoke was present in her lungs, confirming the finding of death as a result of the fire. The cause of the fire, though, remains under investigation. Well, impaired drivers, listen up. New DUI laws go into effect tomorrow in Oklahoma, including stricter sentencing guidelines for DUI offenses. KOAM's Ty Parks was in Miami, Oklahoma, and has more.
New DUI laws go into effect November 1st in Oklahoma. The threshold to be a felony DUI has changed. If the driver blows a .08 and if the driver has a child in the car, driving at high speeds, or causes any kind of motor vehicle accident, it is now a felony.
DUIs across the state are obviously a threat to the driving public, and with the current availability of rideshare programs and other programs, there's really no reason for anybody to drive intoxicated anymore. I also think it's important for people to understand it does not take much to get to a .08.
For a 200-pound male, it only takes 2 beers within 30 minutes to reach the legal limit of .08.
I think it's important for them to know that this is driving under the influence, not driving under the influence of alcohol. So that also includes other substances such as marijuana or painkillers or anything of that matter. And even if you have a prescription, if your ability to drive is impaired, you can still be convicted.
Police Chief Stephen tells KOAM that there is not an increase in DUI in Miami area. They tend to remain steady.
Just a continuation of repeat offenders on DUIs. Unfortunately, the penalties have not been harsh enough to prevent DUI, and it's a choice. They're making a choice to go out and drive intoxicated, and like I stated, there's no reason for that anymore. And I believe that the enhancements in this will help deter people from making that choice, or help them to understand that they are potentially going to spend up to 10 years with your first conviction for a felony DUI.
In Miami, Oklahoma, Ty Parks, KOAM News.
Much of the inspiration for the tougher laws stems from a fatal accident involving a driver that had 4 prior DUIs. A proposed ordinance in Joplin would make it illegal to intentionally drop off homeless people within city limits. The City Council passed a first reading of the bill at their last meeting. City officials say they've documented cases where people from other communities were brought to Joplin, adding strain to local shelters and resources.
It's a national problem, and we're trying to focus on Joplin-specific issues and Joplin-specific solutions. We have been in discussions with those organizations and agencies in other communities that we have documented that are bringing individuals and dropping them in Joplin. So this ordinance is intended to help discourage some of that activity.
City leaders say any alleged violations would be reviewed by the police chief and city prosecutor before deciding how to proceed. The next reading of the bill is on Monday, and that is the next council meeting. A little later, we hear from the voice of the Chiefs, Mitch Holtis, who has a preview of the team's matchup on Sunday.
And we have some cold temperatures as we head into the weekend. I'll have a full look coming up. Well, we had a warmer day in store for us today. Temperatures reached the low 60s. Now we can go ahead and take a look at our 36-hour temperature trend. Yesterday, we hit upper 50s. Today, about 62, 63 across the board. Now, as we head into this evening, we're only dropping down to the low 40s. So overall, rather a mild night. Now, we do have a cold front coming in tonight. That's going to drop our temperatures on Saturday, low to mid 50s, so about a 10-degree drop. Upper 50s on Sunday, then back to the 60s by Monday. Now, we also have a very cold night in store for us. So tonight, again, low 40s. As we head into Saturday night, Sunday morning, low 30s, even upper 20s in some areas. It's going to be very cold. We do have a freeze watch in store for us. That's going to start again Saturday night into Sunday morning. Missouri, Arkansas, Oklahoma, and Kansas counties along the Missouri border. So that freeze watch only is in effect for Saturday night, Sunday morning, not for us tonight, because these temperatures are going to be well above freezing. Now, we're still in the 50s. We're in the upper 50s currently, some of us still in the low 60s. These overcast skies actually keep us a bit warmer as we head into tonight. We do have some rain chances. You can see some sprinkles up there near Kansas City and Salina, but the rest of us are just going to be dry for this evening. Now you can see, taking a look at downtown Joplin from the Cornell Arts and Entertainment Complex. Overall, it's a dry night. It's a mild night. Temperatures only getting down to the low to mid 40s. Now through this evening, if you plan on still trick-or-treating after dark, we're only getting down to the low 50s by 9 p.m. So we've got a couple more hours of very nice mild weather before any chances of rain and cooler temperatures start to move in. As we head through the rest of the evening, most of this green is not going to be making it to the surface. Way too light to actually touch the ground, but taking a look out maybe near Springfield area and then just northeast of us could see some heavier rain. And then this line of storms really develops as we head into Saturday morning. So this is where we could see some light sprinkles, light showers for us Saturday morning from 3 a.m. to about 8 a.m. Now here we are at 4:30. Columbus, Oswego, Independence out there just north of Joplin, Carl Junction area, Lamar area, and then out towards Springfield as well. Now this line of showers does continue to push in through the Joplin area by 5:30, 6 a.m., moving south into northeastern Oklahoma, and then pushes south of I-44 by about 7:30 to 8 a.m., clearing out after 8, and we're back to mostly sunny skies for Saturday. Now, again, our temperatures tonight, not too bad. Low 40s, maybe upper 30s. Heading into Saturday, we're going to be in the mid to low 50s. And then Sunday morning, 32 in Joplin, 31 in Neosho. You can see 30 in Fort Scott. So we're really just mostly in the low 30s, but nearly all of us are below freezing or at freezing. So we do have some potential for a freeze Saturday night into Sunday morning. If you go out, you're definitely going to want to bundle up. I know I'll bring I've already broken out my winter jackets, in fact, earlier this week. And then we also have to set our clocks back at 2 a.m. on Sunday, so you do it Saturday night.
The best part of that is you get an extra hour of sleep.
Yes, you do.
When we fall back. We'll take it. All right, thanks, Lizzie. Still ahead, a preview of the Chiefs' upcoming rivalry matchup with the Buffalo Bills. Plus, Webb City begins its playoff run tonight for our KOAM Game of the Week. Vin McLeish is live from Cardinal Stadium when we return.
Welcome back to KOAM News at 6. We have another thrilling night of 4 states high school football. And while our Oklahoma teams are still battling it out in the regular season, playoffs have begun in Kansas and Missouri. And here at Cardinal Stadium, Webb City kicks off its postseason for our KOAM Game of the Week. Tonight, 4 and 5 Parkview. Webb City hasn't faced the Vikings in any of the last 10 seasons. The Cardinals are coming off a big 42-28 win over Joplin and a successful 6-3 season. Webb City is led by its dominant rushing attack, but the Cardinals keep opposing teams on their heels with their 3-man threat. Choose your poison between running backs Mason Williams and Gabe Johnson or quarterback Braden Strickland. All of them are deadly with the ball in their hands, and as an offense, the Cardinals have averaged over 36 points per game. They'll look to carry that over to the postseason, where they begin their quest for a 3rd straight district title. It all starts tonight against the Vikings. Kickoff is set for 7. Well, November is almost upon us, which means great things for Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs. Voice of the team, Mitch Holtis, brings incredible news for Kansas City fans ahead of the Chiefs matchup with the Buffalo Bills.
Patrick Mahomes is closing in on 95 wins, the most wins in NFL history by a quarterback 30 years or younger. Any guesses what his best month is for winning percentage? If you guess November, take a bow. Mahomes is 21-4 in the 11th month of the year. But if Mahomes crushes this November, we'll remember it for a long time. This week, Buffalo again. And I know you're not supposed to look ahead, but after a bye week, the most serious challenger to the Chiefs' 9-year run as division champs at Denver. Then home with the surprise team of the whole NFL, the Indianapolis Colts. And then a short week and a road game on Thanksgiving Day at Dallas to play the Cowboys. This could really be another Mahomes November to remember on this Minute with Mitch. The Minute with Mitch is brought to you by Como Jewelry in Joplin and Pittsburgh.
Kickoff for the Chiefs' Sunday matchup in Buffalo is set for 3:25 p.m. Live from Webb City, I'm Ben McLeish. We're back with more news after this.
We've got more news, weather, and sports headed your way this evening on our family of channels. It's Friday night, and you know what that means. Friday night football. The KOAM sports team brings you the highlights from some of the night's biggest matchups. Plus, it's a holiday weekend, but will the weather feel like a holiday? Lindsay has the answer. And speaking of holiday, the community heads out for some Halloween fun tonight. Those stories and a lot more tonight on the KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14 after the game, KOAM News at 10, and the Press Box on the CW. All right.
Well, it is going to feel pretty nice, I'd say, if you're out in your costume and you, like me, have a sweater on, or like Tanya, have a long sleeve shirt on. It's going to be a little warm to start, but we cool down to the low 40s overnight. Now, heading into the weekend, low 30s Sunday morning, so we could get a freeze potential there. We are under a freeze watch, and you don't forget to set your clocks back because it is fall back for Sunday morning.
And if you notice, there was a little transition during sports here. Kudos to this girl for her fast makeup skills.
Gotta do what you gotta do. We dressed up for Halloween. We're in the holiday spirit, I would say. I'm Velma from Scooby-Doo, and you look like somebody that the Scooby Gang would go and try and catch.
That's right. Well, that's it for the KOAM News at 6. We hope you have a wonderful Halloween. Have a great Friday night and an even better weekend.